Hello, everybody! How to become a conscious lifestyle designer. Welcome, everybody, to this very special episode. I am so super excited for this because we have a very amazing guest, none other than the incredible Lars Vergunst. And this guy is going to talk to us about something so close to my heart because he has been surfing big corporate companies with the beautiful arts of branding, strategy, helping them really define their message in such a beautiful way. But then in his journey, he's basically figured out that his true purpose and his true calling is to help beautiful people, basic entrepreneurs, business owners, starters, to be able to create a life by design. And this beautiful thing not only helps you in your life by really seeing how can you basically create a life that you do not have to escape from, but on the other end also this will ensure that you allow this beautiful design to basically slip through in all different areas of life, even your business. So for that, I'm so super excited. And before we're going to dive into all of the beautiful festivities of this, let me play the show reel and then we're going to go right in. So see you guys in a second. So hello everybody and welcome to this very special episode. And I just want to say thank you to the amazing Lars for making your time available because I know you're super busy. You're doing all sorts of things every single day to benefit your beautiful lifestyle designers community. And I'm just so excited we're having you here to pick your brain. But before I'm going to ask Lars to give a little bit of an introduction as to what he does and how he helps making this world a better place, I also wanted to let you guys know that Lars has decided to give everybody a free copy of his signature book. And I'm so excited to get one myself. So I'm surely getting one and it's completely free of charge. So if you are watching this either live or on the replay or whichever platform, make sure to make your way to the comments where you can grab the link for your basically free gift from Lars. And I'm super excited for that as well. I'm going to put it on here so that everybody that is not seeing the link can also get yourself there. Now, without any further ado, Lars, please introduce yourself. I obviously know you. I know what you do and how many people you are helping on the daily from all over the world. But I wanted to ask you, in a quick nutshell, can you explain to people who you are and why you have such a beautiful purpose-driven mission to make anybody who's watching this video, and by the way, stay until the end, make their life better? The floor is yours.
Yeah, the thing is, working corporate life, busy agency, you just sometimes realize, like, is this really it? And I'm sure a lot of people have this feeling. They go from project to project, deadline to deadline, really like feeling like they're always running. And I've been there myself, and it just, do you really feel fulfilled at the end of the day? And I realized for me that wasn't the case. So that's when I decided to switch things up and put a bit more purpose behind the things that I'm doing. Later on, I switched up again for now and really focus on helping people one by one create the lives that they feel happy to live instead of like exhausted to live every day. So that's where I'm right now, and I'm so excited to help people and also to be on the podcast. So thanks very much for having me here.
Yes, absolutely. And I just wanted to say that, well, for everybody watching this, by the way, comment below. Let me know where you're watching from because it's always nice to see who's here. And I just want to say thank you so much for your words. But I have to say to the audience, Lars here is incredibly humble, and I don't think people quite know the degree to which he helps people. So let me assist a little bit in sharing that. You've come from a really, really incredible background in allowing people's dreams and messages and their purpose, like in whether it's the corporate world or still currently for all the other businesses that you help, or people that want to start and live a more purposeful life and start their own business or launch their brand or things like that, to really be able to, as we always like to say, capture their essence, really figure out what is it that they want to mean to the world, and that's something super special. But you combine it also with strategy and allowing people to see like what are the steps that they can take to truly blow up their businesses in a purposeful way. So what I'm very interested in learning from you in this podcast today is how you went from all of that to then seeing like, hey, how can we apply the techniques of design to life? Because again, like what you shared earlier, there's so many people, they are running on, running the rat race, and they are feeling stuck, or as you beautifully describe in your book. And by the way, guys, if you haven't already grabbed this gift, make sure to do it right now. The link is in the comments. You can also see it here on the screen. You have to go to pacifian.co/guide, and you can get a free copy of his signature book. And what you describe as well in there is that, you don't actually need to have, how do you say,
You don't need to be
life is not described from, right?
Yeah, you don't need to have another hack or another way to, squeeze more into your day to do more. That's really not the point of it. No, absolutely.
Yeah. And so like, can you explain a little bit more like how you figured this out? Because I guess
Yeah.
working with so many top performers, it has become probably very apparent to you that, in order to really do well in whatever it is that they want to do well in, if their life is not in order, obviously that's going to work against them. And I don't know if that was the reason that gave you that epiphany to build this lifestyle design, which I'm so excited about. Maybe you can share a little bit about that, because I'm sure there are a lot of people watching his right now or watching the replay that would love to know like how they can do that for themselves as well. So a long question.
Let's start with the first part. The whole brand design, brand strategy, where I come from. It seems like a long way from where I am now, but it actually really isn't. So if you look at how we build brands, we start with things like the purpose, the values, the mission, the vision, and then we build things out to show the world indirectly what we want, what our purpose is. And the key is really to be really simple about it, not to clutter it too much, and to be really clear about what a brand is here to do. And the funny thing is that when I learned branding and did my masters and everything, we talked a lot about how brands are basically like people. If a brand would be a person, what would they dress like? What would they say? And that's basically how you think about brands. So then, looking at that methodology, those frameworks, and seeing, but listen, I'm a person. I get up every morning, dress myself.
Yeah.
You dressing yourself is already kind of a branding exercise. Like, how do you portray yourself? How do you want to be seen to the outside world? So, and there's a lot of these things like, figuring out your purpose, your values, where you're going, what your priorities are right now, because they can change in life, and really aligning with that, and aligning your message and your actions with that is it's not that far from building a brand, but it's really helps to get clear for yourself and also for other people who you are and where you're heading, where you're going, what you value, what you find important in life.
Yeah, like that a lot. And then towards the second part of the question, which is like how important it is actually to be able to live a life where you don't feel the constant need to go for the weekend or to need a vacation. Like that is obviously
It is a lot, right? Going for the weekend, you work the whole year to go on holiday once a year and like rest, because is it really rest if you need to schedule it like that? And you also see this in people like having hobbies and not knowing what to do with their free time. Everything needs to be like serving something. It's like this utilitarian way of looking at your free time, that if I don't do anything that actually helps me in other areas of life, is not being productive, then it's a waste of time. And that is already a sign that maybe you should waste a bit more time. You should do more activities just for the sake of doing them, instead of always thinking about, so if I do this, then it will help me there. I used to have this for myself a lot, when I like, okay, I have an hour, a couple hours to kill. What shall I do? Especially on the weekend, right? When you are supposedly not working. And it's always like, oh, I could go watch a movie, or I could play some games or whatever. But then the second thought was always, yeah, but then I've done that and I'm finished, and then what have I actually accomplished? I feel like, oh, I've just wasted a couple hours of my time. And that is such an easy thought to think. And I feel like a lot of people have this, and
Yeah.
they can't live in the moment, can't be really present. It's always the use of your time and being productive all the time. And that is just such a way to run through life, and like we say, having life live you,
Oh, wow.
living your life.
That's a nice one, everybody. Make sure to write that down. Do you want to have life live you, or do you want to live your life?
Yeah, do the things that you find meaningful, that you find enjoyable. And the thing is, with all this productivity that we see all around us, and all these books and hacks and videos and whatnot, these productivity gurus, it's always about squeezing more into your day, but we don't get more restful, or we don't have more time because of productivity, because all the time that we free up being productive or making things more efficient, we know how to fill up that time like so very quickly that in the end we don't feel like we have more time at all. So I feel like productivity is a bit of a trap sometimes, and we don't need to optimize everything all the time.
Gotcha. So what do you feel is the solution to that? And how have you seen this in both your life and other people that you have guided? Because I once did this video about, what was it? Oh yeah, this is actually the same process as what you just described, about how working on your health is so important, right? But I used to, especially in the beginning of my business, I was just like, no time for anything. I just want to work. And then I made a video where I said, if you go to the gym, you get more results in business, because you're doing something and you're actually fully doing that, then it actually creates more results for you, because you're allowing yourself to experience that fully. What would you say, like, are simple things that people that are watching this right now can incorporate besides downloading the book? that they can
The first thing to realize really is that, like you say, I mean, for some time when you're building a business and you're really like in the flow and you want to get things done, that's fine. But you should also realize that you can't go on forever without taking care of the foundations.
Yeah.
So
I've learned that the hard way.
yeah, I mean, that is something that people run into when they face burnouts or the symptoms of those, or feeling like, the motivation starts dropping. And people really should realize that, taking care of your health, of your fitness, of your diet, of your rest, of, your time off will dramatically help your productive time as well. It builds on top of that, definitely.
It's like an amplifier, but it feels so
Yeah.
contradictory, but it really isn't.
It will actually improve your performance, your professional performance. It will.
Yeah, incredible. And what do you feel whenever, like, you're helping your top performing clients? Do you feel sometimes that people feel a little bit of resistance in doing that, because it almost seems like, I really am so busy. How can I add more to the plate?
How much time they have, they can prioritize. They can, it's always like, oh no, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. But then when someone, for example, is getting sick or getting ill, then suddenly you can make time for it. If
you have to,
if suddenly you don't have time for anything, but if tomorrow morning, I don't know, you have a great leak in your house, you'll find a way to make time for it. So there is always things you can prioritize, and I think the key is to really, and this is like these strategy talks that I have with people are so helpful for that. Just to have a talk and just to put things into words and have someone like bounce back to you what you're saying. Really understanding for yourself what your priorities are, what you value, and what they should be. Because some people feel like, I value my ambitions, I value my work. If you ask further, like, why do you value that so much? then it's mostly not actually that's not actually what they're valuing. That they're valuing taking care of the family
Yeah.
much more than actually the work.
Mhm.
So, and then you start to see that their behavior and their actions kind of sometimes don't always line up with that. They because they think they need to be ambitious and productive and efficient at work, but actually what they want to do is take care of the family, and that involves much more than just doing the productive and efficient and effective work.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, exactly. There was once an event that we ran, me and my old business partner, and in there, my business partner did an exercise with the audience where he said, "Okay, line up the 5 things that are most important to you in that follow order." So they lined that up. So mostly in the top is family, living a good life, whatever, all of these things, and then they say, "Okay, line up the 5 things that you put most of your time towards." And then they realized that those lists were such a mismatch that it was like a real eye opener. And I suppose that's what you do with your clients when you're having those conversations, and you can actually go a bit deeper than just the surface layer, that you then realize, oh, wait a second, I'm not living my life in a way that I actually want to at all. And I think that can be a bit.
really listing it out and putting everything in words and
Yeah.
like asking the 5 whys, you know,
Nice.
is always.
Are we going to find out about those in the book?
Oh, sorry. The 5 whys is a classic strategy method, you know, like always like when someone else says something, okay, sure, but why?
Yeah.
And then again, but why? And
Right.
mostly after 5 times why, you've really drilled down to the core of it.
That's cool.
And then people thought, okay, so maybe the why that I thought it was isn't actually all that accurate.
Yeah.
And that's how you kind of drill down very quickly. You can do this for yourself, you know, when you feel like, I think I'm feeling like this because this and this and this, but why? And if you do that 5 times, you'll figure it out. Like you're getting a lot closer, at least. Yes.
Write this down, guys. The 5 whys. That reminds me actually of a cartoon that I saw when I was growing up. Was it the YY family? Have you seen that as well?
Right. I think I've seen it. Yeah. It's been a while.
Okay, like and then they had these abilities to become really small or go really big and to figure out all questions of life. Totally unrelated, but
Oh yeah, fine. Yes.
All right, cool. And like also, I think one big thing, and I know you obviously care about this a lot, is again realizing that we have the power to create a life by design, and actually structurally going in there and making basically that decision, say, okay, right now I've been living my life in a current way, but actually I am ready to live my life in a more purposeful way, which is good for me in all areas of life, not just the productive side, but actually by focusing on the other areas, I will be more productive and all that. Is that also some of the things that you take your clients through? Because I remember you sharing with me some really beautiful stories of some of the breakthroughs of your clients and the successes that have come out of that. Like, is it part of the conversation that you usually do when it comes to helping your lifestyle designers community?
Yeah, so one of the first things we often talk about is because they don't feel like they can change their life that much because they have so many obligations and you know they're kind of like stuck in all these responsibilities. But I think people have a lot more control over their own lives than they might think, especially when you realize that some people are not living their life because they wanted to live like that. They are living it because other people impose it on them. So they have expectations. They have, you're pleasing the people with expectations. And a classic example is like your career choice, right? Based on what your parents want you to do. And there's a lot of these things, and it comes in all small and big forms, really. Even like people asking, can you do this for me? Like not work related. Can you do this for me? Can you help me out here? And you know, like, okay, sure, but on the back of your mind, you realize, this is going to take a lot of time, and then I can't do this and this. But you know, just because you want to be helpful and friendly, you say yes, and you'll take it on you. And incidentally, that's absolutely fine. You know, that's what friends are for. But sometimes it becomes a bit of a habit and a pattern, and then you need to realize, like, okay, listen, I need to set some boundaries here because otherwise I'm not in control of my time anymore.
Yeah.
And,
This is
and
actually a really big thing. I know this is a lot as well with our clients, especially when they're big givers and they're really like the help people. That can happen and it can slip in and it can go like seemingly very small asks, and then it just grows into this thing like, oh, you are the go-to person. You'll do that for me, and then yeah, and it takes over your life in a way, and that's not good actually. So I just wanted to mention that like a lot of people, maybe even you watching this, have had this in your life, and it sometimes may not be the best or most healthy thing.
yeah. So one key exercise is really like whenever you have someone requesting something of you,
Mhm.
really take a minute to lean into your gut. I've had to learn big time to lean into my gut feeling more because I'm a very, at least I thought I always was, a rational person.
Mhm.
But we all have gut feelings. We just need to learn to listen to it. So really listen in and feel like, how do I actually feel about this? Not rationally, but if something makes you feel a bit off, chances are it's not really in line with your values. And then maybe you should consider saying no.
Mhm.
That's already, I think, a good start, or at
Yeah.
least realize that, okay, I can do it for now this time, but next time I need to stay away from this because it doesn't feel right. I don't
Yeah.
feel aligned with this.
And also being able to have that conversation honestly, because truly, if
Absolutely.
it's your
Communication
friends,
is always the thing.
yeah, and I think sometimes people fear that part as well, is that, when you are saying no, then maybe it will affect the relationship, but actually being able to openly communicate and put things in perspective will most of the time do good to the relationship. And if it doesn't, then there's a question mark on, is this really a true friend, or is this not?
Yeah, no, this is perfect. And actually, this is a branding thing, right? Like, how do you, sorry, I'm just a brand geek.
I love it. All here for it. Yeah.
How you portray yourself and what boundaries you set, how you communicate to the people around you
Mhm.
will help them think of you the way you want them to think of you.
Yeah.
Sorry, this might be a bit of a
Can you repeat that once more?
yes. So by setting boundaries and communicating your values, you
Mhm.
will help them think of you the way that you want them to think of you.
Yeah.
You help them see you the way you want them to see you.
Yeah.
So if you see yourself as this very helpful, friendly person,
Mhm.
then yeah, you can be friendly. But you should also notice that you have your own priorities, and if you want them to see that too,
Yeah.
then you need to act on it and you need to show it to them.
Yeah.
And over time, with consistency, they will realize that this person is not always available for me. That's completely fine. That's
Yeah.
completely fine.
And sometimes people also forget, including myself, is that by actually saying no and empowering someone else to actually doing it themselves,
Hmm.
make a bigger impact rather than giving that fish all the time, like teach them how to fish or allow them to explore fishing.
Let them try themselves first, and then come to you for help. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
that
no,
is
exactly, and
in
that's the
general. Yes, not just in lifestyle design. In
I
general.
think at some point, and I don't know if you have this yet, but I will vote for you having your own podcast, and I think you need to invite Seb as a guest, Seb Williams.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, because I think you and him can have the most powerful conversation. He's all about this stuff as well. He loves building harmony in your life and really
Yeah.
allowing for like the communication to be good and these types of things. And he's been very influential as well in our team, in FLC team, where it's about like really building in those small but very necessary things, like what you shared earlier. Is like whenever you go and ask a question, first ask yourself whether you've tried to figure it out, and only then ask the question. Like these are these small things, but it's also like when you're forming a company, that building those things into the culture is super important. But at the same time, also in your life, also in your brand, because it is all brand, like you're saying. And I love the analogy that you're making there. So that's really cool. Talk to me about the book. So there is another way. I just love this title. I love the cover. I love what it is about. Can you share a little bit more also for the audience that will all be downloading this book for
Sure.
free,
Yeah.
which is
It's
awesome.
really a thought starter, because a lot of people feel like there is no other way.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing this quote I think it was somewhere in the Netherlands. I was walking, walking around the city, and there was this quote like, if you feel like there is no other way, shouldn't there be another way? Yeah. If you feel so stuck that you can't get out of it,
Yeah.
shouldn't there be a way out of it?
Yeah.
That is already a consideration. So a lot of people feel like they're stuck, and they are stuck on this treadmill, right? They need to keep running, need to be busy, hustle culture, productivity, optimizing their time, everything. And this guide is really to make people think about, how can I make that change, or and show them that they can. There is another way. To really start thinking about what their life could look like if they decide to give the redesign, the shifting a shot. Because I promise you, there will be a lot of things you can change without you even realizing it right now. Really to get you thinking and to give you this first couple steps to think about the possibilities of what your life could look like.
Yeah. And I also want to say this from personal experience, is that if you're thinking like, okay, I want to do it, but I'm not going to do it now, I'll do it later. Like, later is also going to catch up with you, especially if it's to do with health, I can tell you.
Later never comes. We talked about this, I think, right?
It's a very, very important thing. And it may, again, and I'm again speaking from personal experience, it may sometimes feel like it's a bit backwards, but it is very important for people to realize. And I know as well that this interview, I'm so grateful that you're coming to this official interview, because I really feel that your message and what you do for people, it needs to be everywhere, and people need to get in touch with you. And guys, you need to follow him as well, and we'll talk about that in a second. But like, I think what people need to realize is that it's all about sustainability as well. Like, I am all for hustle, by the way. I'm like a hustle, but there's a time and a place for everything. You can't
That's the thing, yeah. The fortune of your life, I'm not saying, oh, you should stop working, you should stop, stop being productive. That's really not the message here. But allocate the right amount of time and energy for it. Yes.
And the funny thing is actually, by adopting what you are saying, you actually get more efficient. That's
you
the fun part.
get in the flow a lot more easily, and get a lot more done that way. Yes, if you take care of your restful time, you'll notice you get a lot more flow state moments. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And again, for everybody watching this, the new viewers coming in, or again, people watching this on replay, no matter which channel you're on, make sure you get a copy of this book. This book is incredible. I am so excited to read myself. Like, I haven't read it yet, but I have heard Lars in the, how do you say, in the corridors talk to me about it. So I'm all excited for it. And it all starts with the ability to just build that awareness. So even if people are like, okay, I do want this, but can I do this? This book is the perfect thing for you guys to just start this thought process and allow you to build the awareness that it is possible, and then figure out in which way to do that for you. And I also want to say, I wholeheartedly endorse this guy. If you want to have a professional to look at this for you, go figure that out with Lars. Go follow him, ask him for a call. He's a really kind person, and he's more than happy to help people on that, especially because of this big mission. So Lars, can you tell us, where can people follow you?
So I'm on Instagram right now. I'm not a huge Instagram fan. I'm going to be completely open about that. There is a profile there. Feel free to visit my website as well. I'm starting a TikTok channel, which I'll also link on the website. And I love writing, strategist. So I love writing. So I'm on Substack quite a lot. There, and there will be more channels following. So like, now that we're on YouTube, right? So why not at some point? We'll see. Yes.
Yeah.
But the guide is really a thing. It's not something to just read and then just throw aside. It's something to kind of like read, think about, and then come back to it again later, and like let it spark your thinking and your insights. because what we talked about, that harmony, right? I much prefer the word harmony over balance, because work-life balance kind of suggests that it's either one or the other, and only one can be up at a time, which is really not the case.
Exactly.
Really about doing, the Swedish lagom, not too much and not too little, but really investing in making things sustainable and improving the overall quality of life on the long term.
Yeah, 100%. I like that a lot. And I was actually, as you were speaking, trying to get the how do you call it, the title to show up, but as sometimes it happens, it doesn't fully show. So I'll make sure for people to see it in a different form. They can go and follow you. Oh, let's go put this here at, this is going to look very cheesy. Here we go, guys. At pacifican.co. So it's either on Instagram or the website.
The website link, just put a @ in front of it.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys can go find him here everywhere. But before we're going to wrap this up, I have another important question. And that is actually also about like the linking of it, because what I really like about your work is that you're basically helping people in the all-round way. So you're helping people design their lives. You're helping people to redesign the way how they can make an impact. You're helping them redesign their purpose, strategy for their businesses, like all of these different things, so that actually you are creating like the entire map and designing, your life by design, designing it by design, right? So in that, if people say, okay, I actually really want to do this well, you also provide an opportunity for people to have a call with you so they can figure all of that out. How would people get in touch with you for that? Do they go to your website, or what was
on the last page of the guide, there is there's my email, a link, and you can do a free one-on-one consulting to see where you're at, where you'd like to go, and how we can help, or how I can help you get there. Because like you say, the guide is really get you thinking about your priorities and your values, but that is really only the start. That's really the foundation of it. So it starts with you. It starts with, your purpose, the direction you want to go in, and then it continues with how you're going to get there, what the impact is you're making, and this is where the personal brand comes into play. And then lastly, also how you can shape your environment to support you in all those layers. So in you and your behavior and your actions and your impact.
Yeah.
So,
that is nice.
That's really like the full scope of lifestyle design.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I would want to say to everybody, if you can do it, like have this conversation with Lars. He's absolutely
free to have a call. I mean, I'm happy to just talk, and again, it's free of charge. Because I know it already helps so much for a lot of people to just have that chat, to just speak the word and have them have questions asked to make you think a little bit deeper about things that you assumed were normal, or just you have ingrained in your brain, because over time where this helps, right? Of this is how it works. To just get the validation, or get the see like maybe things are not so stuck as I thought they were.
That's also quite an interesting thing, actually, that the distance between where we are and where we want to be many of the times isn't that far. It sometimes really helps, just like that. I always have this when I sit down with my coach. It's so simple most of the time, and it's just like you're looking, but we all have blind spots. So it's such a really enriching thing to have that conversation, and then allow for the things that you don't see, but they're literally in front of you, but you can't see them.
We tend to overcomplicate things a lot inside our upper chamber here. And we don't see what we don't see. We don't know what we don't know. And that is a big thing. And so, if anyone feels to have a chat, please let me know.
And by all means, just get this book, get this guide. It will
get the guide first.
And
See,
then
it's
you are
trusting
able
you.
to take the next step in
Yeah.
the guide itself. So I really highly recommend that. Now, before we wrap up today, Lars, I have a final question. What would be your tip today for everybody watching this, either live or replay, that you just really want them to know, really want them to take away and apply to their lives?
Right. I think there's two, and I've kind of touched them already a little bit. So next time you want to rest, you need the recovery time, say on your weekend. So tomorrow is Saturday. I don't know how many people actually do the weekend on Saturday, but if you do, take it. Don't feel like this time needs to serve any purpose. Just be bored. That's fine.
Mhm.
Do something you feel like doing, and don't think about the utility of it. What's gonna do in the end. That's not important. Do your hobby. Go for that walk. Give the person a call. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Just do it and enjoy the moment. Just be there in the moment. Because often, we sometimes feel silly about certain hobbies because we just love it, but there's no real purpose to it. Like that's exactly the kind of hobby you need. If you feel a little bit silly about it, that's already a sign that you're doing it because you love it and nothing else.
Yeah.
Do that. Yeah. That's one. The second one is next time you have this urge to buy something, like go shopping for clothing, buy that new phone. I don't know. Some people buy new cars, whatever. Think about if this is going to get you a spike of pleasure that's going to wear off in a week or two, maybe sooner. Or are you buying it to, instead of getting that spike and the valley, have like a lower peak, but then a more sustainable flow of happiness in your life? Does it improve your quality of life on the long run? Because if that's the case, do it. If it's the spike of pleasure,
Yeah.
maybe not. I leave it. It's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'll never do. But think about that. Those are
Nice.
two cents.
Very nice. A big hoo-ha-hoo for that. And make sure, guys, to keep those two things in mind. And I was already starting to think about what is my silly hobby. So I think I have many silly hobbies out
Why don't
there.
you just rediscover it? Go back into your childhood a little bit.
Yeah.
What silly hobbies do I have? Mine is definitely gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's playing hide and seek. I think I'm
Hmm.
going to do that a bit more. Yeah, that sounds good. All right. And also, Mohammed is commenting and he's saying Lars is a really chill guy. Happy to see him here. I fully agree. He's awesome. And thank you so much for being here and sharing your wisdom.
Thanks so much for having me here. Yes, I
Of
love it.
course. No, and actually, I've been wanting to have you on the show for quite some time already. But I think it's just really powerful what you do. And it makes such a big difference to so many people's lives. And if anybody watching this right now or watching the replay haven't already, go follow Lars. And again, you can find him very simply on at pacifican.co. So it's either his website, his Instagram. He's going to be on TikTok. He's on
Try to keep
YouTube.
the handle the same so people, have the consistency of when.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Maybe also if you could afterwards in the comments of this video add them all too, so people can just easily click and follow you there. That would be fantastic.
Okay.
But most importantly, if you haven't done this already, make sure to get the book. I can really attest to the incredible simplicity that Lars brings to the table. To just by simple steps, simple tweaks, make your life, make your productivity, make your experience so much better. And as he says beautifully in his work and in his book, is that you don't want to just live a life that you constantly have to escape from. How to create a life that you don't have to escape from because you're enjoying it so much. And as the title of the book says, there is another way. So make sure to get yours there. You can also find the link in the first comment that is pinned. And with that being said, I just want to say once more, thank you so much, Lars. Make sure to follow him. And I also looking forward to see more of your own podcast. And I definitely recommend you to have Seth as a guest.
The first guest. That sounds
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah. I think it's gonna be amazing. I'll definitely watch it, and I think a lot of people will do too. So
Right.
on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, go grab the book, and we see you guys on another episode, another interview of this channel. Bye, everyone.